Hi everyone, and welcome to the Scorpio April 2023 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. So hi everyone and welcome. This is a reading that's going to be taking a look at the energies for the month ahead for April. We're going to be looking at what you're bringing to the table, Scorpio. We're looking at what's going on around you in your environment. And then we're going to be looking at a block or a challenge. And we'll get advice from Spirit as to how to overcome that so that we can take a look at the energies that want to come in for you as far as opportunities or personal growth. So let's jump right in. I hope you're all off to a great start. As we move into April, I know there's been some big planetary shifts at the end of March, so perhaps you're feeling that. You might feel kind of a return to the fire within. You might feel compelled maybe to take action in areas you've been kind of sitting back and waiting. And yes, with the Emperor coming up here, I would say that's probably a very much resounding yes with you, Scorpio. So this is the energy you're bringing in, which is appropriate for right now because we are technically in Aries season, and the Emperor, this card is ruled by both Aries and a little bit of Taurus in the tarot. So you are definitely in alignment with the energies of right now, kind of sitting in your authority. Maybe for some of you, you might even be reviewing how your dynamics with authority figures in your life have been up to this point. Now, I just did your opposing sign Taurus. I did their reading yesterday. Oh, that's quite a bit there. We'll maybe get a few less. And definitely themes around authority and past relationships that maybe had some authority issue wounding came up. So something similar might be happening with you. I find that the message generally is very similar between what we would call a natural seventh, opposing signs in the Zodiac. Similar themes will come up, but expressed in different ways. So let's take a look here. So we have the Hermit in your external environment, which is actually a very beneficial energy to have when we're sitting in this place of reconnecting to our authority. So the Hermit can be one, this might actually be a month, Scorpio, where it may be a quieter month for you. This may be one where you are more introspective. It might be just that circumstances external to you are kind of pushing you to do a little bit of soul seeking, because that's what the Hermit speaks to. It speaks to having that time to go within, to reconnect to our own magic, reconnect to our own dreams, our own passions, and whatever unique spark we truly bring by just being ourselves, no matter where we are. This could also be, because this is a card of Virgo, you might have a prominent Virgo in your life who may be helping shed some light on this. And I'll go into this in just a moment. So when we're looking at your recent past energy moving up to the future, or not the future, moving up to the present day energy, we have the Ace of Cups. Beautiful. Ace of Cups is a reconnection to the self, a reconnection to your spirit. It's a reconnection to what you need uniquely to feel emotionally connected in this life experience. And then we have the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands, for some of you, what's interesting is that you could recently have moved in together. You might have recently reconnected with a foundation in your life around the Four of Wands. So this means this could be that you have someone in your life who's recently gotten married or has recently stabilized themselves in a home environment. Because the Four of Wands does speak to a foundation that can be celebrated by others, and that's why often it can be seen as the card of marriage, because that's a celebration, right? A building on an initial foundation. And with the Nine of Cups coming in here, there's a beautiful wish fulfillment. There's an element of right now you're sitting in a place that is there's a lot to be grateful for. This is really sitting in that abundant emotional energy. And this Ace of Cups, now, if this wasn't you specifically getting married or you going through the experience of building a foundation with others, this could be that you are participating in that maybe there was something that kind of opened up your reconnection to self, almost like opening up your heart chakra is what I'm seeing. And it is around this foundation. It could be someone else in your family who has that foundation. It could be that you're just reevaluating in and of yourself how far you've come. That can also be what the Four of Wands represents, being able to really look at how far you've come, what you've achieved for yourself, getting back into that place of of love for the self, and then realizing through this, again, be this a family get together. I mean, this can also be a graduation. It could be any place where family gets together and celebrates together, or friends get together and celebrate together. That it really shed light on a part of your experience where you have a lot to be grateful for, which is beautiful. Now, with the Emperor coming in, this is definitely, I think, for many of you, a month where you're going to really step into that power, into that authority within your own life. And again, if this is you and you have recently yourself gotten married or moved in or built that stable foundation for something, this month is going to be, I think, where you see kind of your role in that. And you're going to, through the Hermit energy out here, again, whether this is through an actual individual who's helping you kind of shed the light on your own uniqueness, on your own the gifts that you uniquely bring, or whether this is just the environment itself, meaning that everything will kind of allow you this month to go within, to be a little bit on the quieter side, to maybe this is not the month where you're going to have a bunch of social engagements. This might be a month where you do have to maybe pull yourself away from working so much, or maybe where you are going to go on a trip because we have spring break right around the corner. But it might be one where you get to kind of go within and really soul seek, which is actually a very positive energy, especially when you're sitting in your authority and you have a lot to be grateful for. So I'm just going to see what's underneath this Ace of Cups. Really curious. Ace of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. This is, for many of you with the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups, this is truly a new beginning. And it could be a new beginning in a relationship or a new beginning through a gift. And that gift could literally be that you guys are moving in together with someone, or it could be the gift of something in your work environment. It could be the gift of, oh, and you have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so you officially have 3 aces on the table here. This is a very fertile time for you, Scorpio. I'm just going to say that. There's opportunity, there's connection to love in the self, and now with the Ace of Wands, this is the connection to your eternal flame, to your passion, to your creativity. This can be inception, it can be conception, it can be true, just that aha moment. But what's interesting is that for many of you, this is actually your block. So this is your main challenge, which is the Ace of Wands. It's your creativity. It's reconnecting to your spark. It's really owning, holding your wand and taking action from that place. So you may be considering how you've lost connection to that, how maybe in moving into family celebrations or moving into something that really allowed you to reconnect to the love of self and also your own emotional needs, that has now allowed you to see where you've been holding yourself back or allowed someone else to hold you back from working with your creativity, working with your passion. Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups again. Yeah, so, and the World. The World coming in, the heart of your reading. This is what Spirit's asking you to embrace to help you maybe overcome a block around creativity or around connection to passion. This can just be raw passion in your life. I can tell you from my own personal experience, I did go through a period of my life where I was overworking myself. I was, did not have that emotional connection to my experience. And I can tell you at that time, I had that spark was gone in my life. Not that it ever is truly extinguished, but I was not living from a place where I was honoring anything creative in my life, anything that comes from that, my own unique spark. I was not partaking in hobbies that I enjoyed. It got to the point where when I was finally forced to stop working so many hours a week, I had to really face my life to say, well, what do I like doing? If I now have all this free time, who am I? And that kind of is with the Ace of Wands and the Emperor. This is a little bit of the who am I? What do I love? What lights my fire? How can I start to integrate my creativity into my everyday experience? Now, the world coming in is a hard and fast stop to a previous cycle. It is where we have, it's almost like we're going along, and all of a sudden the door gets closed. As soon as we walk through the doorway, the door is closed behind us and locked. We can't go back. Can't go back to who we used to be. We can't go back through that door. That chapter in our life has come to an end. But what's beautiful here is there's a new chapter opening up that involves the Ace of Wands, involves the Ace of Cups. Fresh connection to love, fresh connection to the self. This is, I think sometimes this can get to be, it's an interesting thing when we bring fire and water together. Because that's what Wands is fire, Ace of Cups or Cups is our emotional state or water. People can think, but yes, but they can put each other out, right? If we bring our emotions into our passions, our emotions might drown that passion. And I look at it as we need both. We need to know why we take action, which is how we feel about something, but we also need to take action on what we feel. And for some of you, you might have, with the Ace of Cups coming up on the other side of the Ace of Wands, you might not have been taking action based from a place on what you feel. And this might be that month where you finally kind of break through that barrier of just acting without realizing I need to honor my emotions. I need to act from my emotions. If I'm not happy, well, then what do I need to do to change myself being happy? Or if I don't feel inspired, what do I need to do to take action towards feeling inspired? And how can I leave kind of the past in the past? Now, on the other side of the world, we have the Princess of Cups, which is the Page of Cups. I love that. This is reconnecting to the inner child. And then we have the Star. And the beautiful thing about the Hermit and the Star together is that the Hermit is the individual who understands that the star lies within, and he puts that in his lantern. So the star represents our ability to kind of see our unique star in the night sky, that there are bazillions, for every unique individual soul, there is a star in the night sky. And it is unique, and it is our own guiding star. It's our own guiding dream for ourselves, our own guiding, the kind of grander experience we want for ourselves. And we use that as our North Star. But the Hermit understands that the star is truly not without. We're not trying to achieve it. That star actually, we find it within. We find that dream within. We find the emotional connection. And then we allow it to be shown in our lantern for others to see and to help guide our way forward. So we're never, even if it's a cloudy night, it's not that we are ever disconnected from the star. So there's a beautiful chance here to reconnect with your vision for what you want your life to be. And coming from it with, it's almost like this element of being reborn. With the World and the Page of Cups coming in right after, there's this feeling of like an adult version of yourself is done, and this new childlike version is emerging, and you're being born almost through fire anew. I can say there's definitely like the Phoenix rising kind of energy here, but it is very innocent. It's almost like learning how to fly or spread your wings, or realizing your own uniqueness. That's really what's coming through, realizing your own uniqueness, but in a way now that is directly connected to gratitude and joy and foundations and love and reconnection to the self, and then you sitting in your power at the start of that. Now, for some of you, this could actually be you could be getting pregnant. With the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups here, this could be new love. That new love could lead to a pregnancy, which is beautiful. It could also lead to inspiration and passion as well. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands. And yeah, it's been a long process to get here. The Nine of Wands is a card of burnout. It's a card where we can look back and say, wow, it's been a long journey to get to this point. But it's been a journey that has really allowed you to realize where you've maybe focused too much on something and where you need to kind of get back to square one of what's my one want? Like what is my passion in all of this? There are 9 wands there, but it started originally with 1 wand. And what was that 1 wand? It's getting back to the basics. Okay, now I'm going to pull some clarifier cards here. We're going to get a little deeper into the message. Obviously, this is where we can get a little bit more specific, so please only take what resonates with your current experience. So let's see about this Ace of Wands. What does Scorpio need to know about the Ace of Wands? I just heard Gemini, which is interesting. I feel like there's a lot of Gemini energy coming into these readings, but for some of you, this Ace of Wands could be a Gemini in your life. Or you could have a strong Gemini placement that might actually be kind of leading the way towards an area in your birth chart, maybe an area in your experience where you can reconnect to that passion. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man, a change in perspective. I like that. In the Chariot. Yeah, there's a change in perspective as to what you wanted to move towards. And this inspiration, I think, coming in here is a realization of that whatever this reconnection, I mean, and this could be literally where, you do have that idea, or it could also be where you do get pregnant, something along those lines. And you're like, oh shoot, now I see what I really want. Because the Chariot is movement. It's movement towards what ultimately feels like home for us. So there may be a kind of redirection of maybe you didn't want to move. This could be actually where maybe you didn't want to get married. And suddenly this connection with new love was like, actually, I do want to get married and I do want to have the family and I do want to do all of that. But this could also be that maybe there was, through a family celebration or through celebrating a firm foundation, there is an aha moment of creativity. And suddenly there's this realization of, wait, there's a change in my perspective as to what I want to move towards. So this could be like where you've been in a job for a long period of time and suddenly this could be like where you just go to a celebration of any kind. You're like, oh, I'm going to go to my niece's graduation. And you're like, wow, there's like such a big wide world out there. And just in seeing her so excited and enthusiastic to just, take any job. And you know what? I realize I'm not following my passion anymore. I don't even like the job I'm in. And it allows you to kind of have this like fresh aha moment of, you know what? When I go home, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go out there and just start applying towards something else. It's kind of that feeling. This can also be family support too, by the way. This is any foundation that really is allowing you to feel grateful. Yes. And so Ace of Cups, we have Death and we have the Two of Swords. For some of you, yeah, there's definitely with this fresh connection to, the emotional self, that might have come through the loss of something. Now, when we think of death, it doesn't have to specifically mean that someone has passed away. It means that before the world comes in, the death and the world cards are both kind of that hard and fast stop. States that a past version of yourself is gone. And for many of you, this might have, this could be the release of, if you all of a sudden had this change in perspective, you're like, yeah, I am going to go home and I am going to just start applying to different jobs because I don't want to stay in this job I've been at for 15 years anymore. Well, suddenly now through the reconnection of your own cup and what you need, yeah, there's this realization of, okay, well, if that's the case, then I have to release this job. I have to release. And with the Two of Swords coming in, there was a kind of an indecision, a period of waffling between that. Can I let this go? Can I let this version of myself go? Because there's almost like this feeling here of the person you were before, again, is no more. So can you let that part of yourself go? Or can you let your connection to whatever this was go? So, keep that in mind. It could even be a past relationship where you realized, wow, I know I celebrated the marriage of my very close family friends and I realized I want that in my life. that's like the aha moment of like, I want to have that partner. I want to have the foundation for a family. But that means that I have to change something in my life now. And yeah, there's the Tower. Okay, so the Tower comes up with the World. Yep, that's when Tower, Death, the World. These are major transformational energies. You don't come out of this the same individual. You come out of it the new. This is where, again, the version of yourself has passed away. The previous version, the door closes, the Tower comes down. The Tower comes when we have we've resisted change for too long. And generally the Tower comes from something that happens in our life that emotionally shakes us up. But it comes external to us, meaning that this will be like where we really get ill and we face a mystery illness, or sometimes it's like we'll get diagnosed with, cancer or stress-induced autoimmune disease or something like that, where all of a sudden, where we needed to change and we needed to slow down and we needed to change our priorities, but we didn't and we didn't and we did it. And suddenly it's like spirit, the universe comes in and says, it's time to stop. It's time to get back to basics. It's time to get back to you. Your body can't take it anymore. Or this can be where something comes in where maybe you've been just overworked, and you needed to prioritize another aspect of your life, and suddenly your job lays you off. And now it's like the realization of, oh my gosh, I do need to focus more on my family, or I do need to focus more on my life outside of just work. There's something along those lines where it's like the Tower had to come in and say, sorry, it's time, you have to release this because it's time to go towards the star again. And that's when the Tower comes in. That's the universe breaking the devil's grip on us. We built a tower, we hid inside that tower for security, but what we couldn't see in that tower was our star. And so when the Tower comes down, we're able to come out into the night sky as that fresh, childlike version of ourselves. We are reborn, and we look up into the night sky and we remember who we are. We remember why we are here. That's the Hermit. Okay, so then for the Princess of Cups, we have the King of Cups. I love it. There's you, Scorpio. We have the 10 of Cups. This is the happy family card. This could even, also denote marriage. And then we have the King of Swords, which is interesting. Now, this is a very specific message. King of Swords is Aquarian energy for some of you. If this was marriage, you might have gotten married to an Aquarius, or there's a beautiful celebration with an Aquarian energy in your life. This is an individual who really tells it like it is. They are very they're clear-minded. They're very fair in how they approach situations, and they're somebody that you can take their advice and really understand that they're coming from a perspective that is looking to take other perspectives and then bring them together into kind of a cohesive, unified perspective. So there is something, though, here around a connection with an Aquarian energy that is very beneficial, that has this happy family energy, this 10 of Cups, a celebratory energy, which is just beautiful. I think it's really whatever this energy is, it's allowing you to be you, which is the King of Cups. It's allowing you to be emotionally stable, emotionally mature, emotionally grounded. And it's bringing you back in touch with your inner child, which is wonderful. Okay, so let's go ahead here and see what you need to know about the star, and then we'll pull some additional advice from Spirit. Okay, so we have the 9 of Coins. Okay, 9 of Pentacles, beautiful. That's a card of financial independence. It's being very physically abundant. And I think for many of you, that's what you are. That's part of your star. That's what you want. Yeah, and then we have the Ace of Cups, or the 8 of Cups. So there's the 8 of Cups coming up again. I feel like the 8 of Cups has just been your card for weeks now. 8 of Cups, Ace of Coins, Page of Cups. I love that. there's an opportunity, you had an opportunity to walk away from something that led to a reconnection of the child within. So keep that in mind here for those of you who are, you're looking for this level of independence. You want this level of financial or physical abundance. But there's something here where it's going to take you walking away. Because when we think about the Nine of Pentacles, this can also be a comfort zone. This can be where we are really comfortable. Everything kind of is good. But in order for us to go from the Nine of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles, which is connected to our star, it's the ultimate legacy that we want to achieve or leave behind in the physical. That opportunity comes from what you need to walk away from something that no longer is emotionally fulfilling. And that opportunity is what's going to start the new journey of this beautiful Page of Cups, of your inner child, of reconnecting to your soul. I love this. Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple additional cards here. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a card. This is an energy oracle card, so we'll kind of just get a broader view of the energy for the month ahead. What does Scorpio need to know? This is a really positive reading, Scorpio. I feel like the majority of the readings I've done for you up to this point were very, you have to walk away. You have to figure out what you want. There's something you need to leave behind. And it's like, whatever has shifted, it happened. And you've been forced to have to realize what that is. The new you has come out. There's been something beneficial that's happened recently that's really allowed you, I think, to reconnect to love, to inspiration. And there's an opportunity now to start a new cycle. And it's beautiful. Very fertile energy for you Scorpios out there. Okay, what does Scorpio need to know about the energy of April? Ooh, I like that. Door to value and victory. I think for many of you, you've crossed the threshold and realizing your own value and realizing your own self-worth and realizing how in leaving something behind that does not emotionally serve you and walking towards something that does, that is capitalizing on your self-value. And that will lead ultimately to a new Ten of Pentacles, to a new legacy, but a legacy that is steeped in the Ten of Cups, which is emotional fulfillment. So I love that. I'll pull a couple clarifiers just to see if anything wants to come out with that. And I like how the victory is number 28, breaks down to the number 10, further breaks down to the number 1 in numerology. So you have endings and beginnings there. So you've ended a cycle victoriously. You're starting a new cycle victoriously. Door to value. 31 breaks down to the number 4. That is a firm foundation. Okay, so I think many of you have a firm foundation on your own value at this point. Let's go ahead and see what the victory is. Ten of Cups, yeah. Heart's fulfillment. I love that. Having so much to be grateful for and truly getting to that place of the happy family. Okay, let's see what the door to value is. Door to value. What is this door to value that Scorpio needs to know about? Now, keep in mind, time frames are different for all of us. So this could be something that for some of you, you are experiencing this in April, or it has just recently happened for you. Now, for some of you, you could be more on the other side of this, where in April, you're just starting to come into something that is going to lead to that hard and fast stop, and you're starting the journey. And it is going to lead to all of this. It is going to lead to the Ten of Cups. It is going to lead to, I love the Queen of Cups coming in here. That is mothering yourself. That's unconditional love. That might actually be the realization that for some of you out there that if this, if this Ace of Wands was a pregnancy. It might be the realization that your value lies for yourself in your ability to nurture and mother others, which is really interesting. I like that. And then we have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, there's opportunity out there for you guys. There's opportunity to take this nurturing side of you out into the world, and to see where it can find its value. I really like that. The Queen of Cups is also highly intuitive, someone who really follows her intuition, but again, holds her cup dear, holds the love she has for herself and others very prominent. Okay, so I'm going to pull a Power of Surrender card here. We'll see what wants to come out for you guys. What does Scorpio need to know about where they can surrender this month to really make use of the energies here? Okay, surrender to complete healing. It says, open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. I love that. I think that this has been a journey for many of you on this path to complete healing, that you are emotionally supported, that there has been a level of healing, that there is all of this beautiful, fresh energy of reconnection to the self. And when we get to kind of be reborn, what's interesting too over here is, for some of you, if this was like truly an inception or a conception, what's being reborn, the Page of Cups can sometimes also be seen as a child. So if this is pregnancy for you, this is literally kind of going through that pregnancy, realizing that change that might have brought the tower down, and suddenly on the other side there's a child now, and that child has brought in this happy family. Or it could be anything that has a childlike energy, a pet, something along those lines. But if it's not an actual inception or conception in that way, this could literally be that it's just you. It's just you that's being reborn through a beautiful relationship with a very strong, clear-minded individual. And that is allowing you to be able to shine as your brightest self, to emotionally reconnect again to the world out there. I can say, just from looking at all of this, for those of you who are not looking to get pregnant, I'd say just, back off a little bit, because there is so much fertile energy, so much energy around the family, so much energy around the celebration, all of that could definitely be coming in this month. So I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to actually pull you guys one more card, just because I feel your reading was so clear. It was also a little bit shorter than my other readings, although your weekly last week was a lot longer. So I guess it kind of comes out, balances itself out there. But I'm going to get you just one final little message on top of this. So we have Dark Angel, number 30, breaking down to the number 3, the number of creativity, the number of greeting life with the innocence of a child. I mean, this is beautiful. So I'm going to just read half of the excerpt that comes with this, because they're so lengthy, but I feel like the first couple paragraphs really kind of drive the point home. Okay, so it says, the dark angel comes to you with a radical truth. Divine love is always there for you without exception. Love will never forget you. It'll never stop caring for you. Even when it seems most unlikely, in fact, especially then, the divine is reaching for you and nurturing you. Even our wounds are ways that we can discover love and divine grace through the healing process. The divine is always helping you remember who you are and find your true joy. When the dark angel appears, you are being given a gift of light, even if it may seem to be a hidden blessing. A dark mystery is one that helps us learn that even if things don't seem to be working out according to the timing or the methods that we believe necessary, the light and love of spirit are unfailing. If a door is closed in your face, it is the wrong door for you. Divine love will ensure that the right door opens at the right time. When you encounter darkness, how you respond can make either the dark or the light victorious. You can choose doubt and fear, or you can force the darkness to serve the light by choosing trust and faith. You are spiritually advanced enough to trust unconditionally. That is the trust that burns bright, not only when things appear good, but even when your mind thinks things seem to be heading in the wrong direction. Let's see here. I'll read one more paragraph here. Does unconditional trust mean that you give up if things get tough, assuming it is not meant to be? Of course not. Relying on unconditional trust and understanding the dark mystery, you are willing to go through periods of not knowing. You're willing to continue on your path even when you are not seeing immediate results, because in your heart, you know it's right. This type of trust is powerful enough to release any separation between you and the universe. You know that even when the universe guides you into challenging territory, you shall benefit, grow in divine power, and become the amazing being you are destined to be. And that's what the star and the hermit represent. That version you are destined to be, the highest possible spiritually inspired version of yourself. And there's a lot of positivity here for those of you who are sitting in this, congratulations. And for those of you who are just starting to come out on the other side of this, there's so much beauty and joy and love coming in. All right, I will leave it there. April is definitely a gateway to reconnection to yourself and the beauty that comes with that, the emotional fulfillment that comes in. All right, have a wonderful month ahead, Scorpio. I will be releasing a couple more rounds of the Tarot Bite weekly energetic readings, which are much shorter. They're just meant to take a look at the week ahead. But I will be taking a couple weeks off because I will be on vacation. But I hope you've enjoyed this reading and that you have a lot to look forward to in April. So I will leave it there. Have a wonderful month. Bye, Scorpio.